Ladies and gentlemen, coin lovers, treasure hunters, and history seekers across America, welcome back to Rare Coin Secrets USA, the most trusted, faithful, and daily updated channel for all things rare, mysterious, and jaw-droppingly valuable in the world of coins. Today's video is not just an episode, it is an unforgettable journey into the hidden vault of America's most astonishing treasures. Because inside your pocket change, inside dusty jars of old coins lying forgotten in attics and basements, could be the very thing that changes your life forever. And let me tell you, what you're about to discover in this video is so powerful, so rare, so breathtaking, that collectors around the world are fighting tooth and nail in today's auction markets just to touch these coins. Each coin we reveal today is not just money, it is heritage, it is history, it is a treasure chest compressed into a single nickel. We're counting down the top 6 ultra-rare and most valuable buffalo nickels ever seen in the U.S. market. Each one carries mystery, beauty, and unimaginable value, and by the time we reach number 1, you will understand why people call these coins the crown jewels of American currency. Stay locked in, don't blink, don't skip, because every second of this video is filled with the kind of suspense and revelation that could open your eyes to riches hiding in plain sight. And remember, Rare Coin Secrets USA is your faithful companion, bringing you fresh updates every single day. No myths, no rumors, only the truth, only the treasures, only the coins that truly matter. Now, let's dive deep into our first legendary masterpiece. Coin number 1, the 1936 D Buffalo Nickel, very fine condition. The year was 1936. America was still reeling from the Great Depression, but hope was in the air. Across the nation, the humble Buffalo Nickel, one of the most beloved and iconic designs in United States. History was circulating in millions of hands. But in the city of Denver, something extraordinary was born. The 1936 D Buffalo Nickel is no ordinary coin. Struck at the Denver Mint, it carries the proud D mint mark just beneath the denomination on the reverse. At first glance, it looks like any other Buffalo Nickel, but look closer and you begin to realize why this piece is celebrated as a national treasure. Its history is legendary. The Buffalo Nickel, designed by James Earl Fraser, was created to capture the true spirit of America, the rugged frontier, the proud Native American heritage, and the strength of the American bison. Every line, every curve, every detail on this coin whispers the story of a nation rising from its struggles. But in 1936, in Denver, a batch of these nickels stood out, and today they are so rare that even the world's top collectors tremble with excitement at the mention of their name. What makes this coin so unique is not just its age, but its composition and artistry. Made of 75% copper and 25% nickel, its surface has matured with a patina that tells the story of decades gone by. In very fine condition, like the one we are showcasing today, the details of the proud Native American portrait on the obverse are still sharp and dignified, while the mighty buffalo on the reverse stands as if frozen in time, symbolizing strength and endurance. But rarity is where the fire truly ignites. Because while millions of buffalo nickels were struck, only a small fraction survived in such outstanding condition from Denver's 1936 production. Most were lost, worn down, or melted over time. But when a coin like this appears in very fine condition, it instantly transforms into a treasure chest in miniature. A prize so desired that bidding wars erupt whenever one enters the auction stage. And here is where the suspense reaches its peak. The current market value of the 1936 D Buffalo Nickel in this remarkable condition is an earth-shaking $90,500. Yes, you heard me right, $90,500 US dollars. That's not fiction. That's not exaggeration. This is the absolute truth of today's auction market. Imagine holding in your hand something smaller than a poker chip, yet powerful enough to bring you overnight wealth and lifelong pride. Collectors know this coin is not less than a treasure chest. Its price is not stagnant. It climbs higher and higher as time passes. Experts predict that in just a few years, we could see this coin explode even further in value. Owning it today is not just owning a coin. It is owning a future fortune, a legacy that only grows stronger with time. For collectors, my advice is clear. If you ever stumble upon a 1936 D Buffalo Nickel in very fine or higher condition, guard it like gold. This coin is not just metal, it is your gateway into the elite world of numismatic treasures. Handle it carefully, protect it with all your might, because you are holding in your hand a piece of American history that will never be made again. And the conclusion? The 1936 D Buffalo nickel is more than just currency. It is the soul of American history, locked forever in metal, passed from generation to generation, now valued as a giant treasure chest in the auction markets. If you are lucky enough to own one, remember, you don't just have a coin. You have a fortune, a legacy, and a crown jewel of the Buffalo Nickel series. That's our coin number 1 revealed. But don't go anywhere, because the deeper we go into this list, the more shocking and unbelievable the treasures become. Stay with me, because the next coin might just make you jump out of your seat. As we step further into the mysterious vault of America's rarest treasures, we come face to face with a coin that has baffled collectors, historians, and treasure seekers for nearly a century. It is the 1925 Buffalo nickel without a mint mark, a coin so deceptively simple on the surface, yet so rare, so astonishing, that it has become a true legend in the numismatic world. The year was 1925. The Roaring Twenties were in full swing. Jazz was alive, cities were booming, and America was redefining itself in a world of new energy and prosperity. But quietly, without headlines, without fanfare, the United States Mint produced a Buffalo nickel that would one day rise to be one of the most valuable treasures in American coinage history. Now, here's what makes it fascinating: the absence of a mint mark. Most coins carry a tiny symbol, a mark of where they were struck: Denver, San Francisco, Philadelphia. But the 1925 Buffalo nickel without a mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which often omitted any identifying letter. At the time, it seemed ordinary, but what nobody knew was that surviving pieces in very fine condition would one day become jaw-droppingly rare. The artistry, once again by James Earl Fraser, radiates with the same proud symbolism that made the Buffalo Nickel series unforgettable. On the obverse, the noble Native American profile, drawn from a blend of real-life chiefs, looks out with timeless dignity. On the reverse, the mighty American buffalo, a creature of strength, resilience, and survival, stands in majestic silence. But what makes the 1925 no-mint buffalo so captivating is not just its design, but the story of its survival. Most of these coins circulated heavily. They were handled, traded, and worn down in everyday transactions, slowly erasing their details as decades rolled on. Finding one today in very fine condition, where the features of the Native American and the buffalo remain strong and clear, is like finding a rare jewel that somehow escaped the erosion of time. Collectors across America and around the globe recognize the scarcity of this coin in such a preserved state. The demand is insatiable. When one of these coins surfaces in an auction, the room shifts, the tension rises, and bidders lock in with fire in their eyes. Everyone knows they are chasing not just a coin, but a piece of destiny, a piece of American history that no mint will ever produce again. And now, let me reveal the number that will send chills down your spine. In today's auction market, the 1925 Buffalo nickel without mint mark, in very fine condition, is valued at a staggering $100,800. Yes, over 100,000 US dollars for a single nickel. Think about that for a moment. A coin once worth just 5 cents, now a treasure chest in miniature, capable of changing your life overnight. This is not fiction, not exaggeration, but the pure, unshakable truth of the current market. And what's more, its value is climbing year after year, making it not just a collector's dream, but a true investment in history itself. For collectors listening right now, the message is clear. If you ever encounter a 1925 Buffalo nickel without a mint mark in such strong condition, never let it slip away. Protect it, guard it, preserve it. Because in your hands, you're not just holding metal, you're holding a fortune, a heritage, a timeless symbol of America's golden age. In conclusion, the 1925 Buffalo nickel without a mint mark is nothing short of extraordinary. It stands as a testament to the mystery of survival, the beauty of artistry, and the power of rarity. Owning one is like owning a key to the vault of America's most valuable secrets. It is, without a doubt, a crown jewel in the Buffalo Nickel series, one that will only shine brighter as years go by. That's coin number 2. And if you thought that was powerful, brace yourself, because as we move deeper into our countdown, the treasures only grow more shocking, more heart-stopping, and more valuable than ever before. We have arrived at a point in our treasure hunt where the stakes become even more electrifying. Imagine standing in Denver in the year 1934. The Great Depression still grips the nation. Jobs are scarce, and survival is on everyone's mind. Yet, even in those turbulent times, the United States Mint was quietly producing coins that would one day become rare treasures worth a fortune. One such jewel is the 1934 Buffalo nickel with the Denver D Mint mark, a coin so powerful in rarity and so dazzling in its legacy that collectors worldwide speak of it with reverence. The Buffalo nickel series, as we know, was designed by the great James Earl Fraser to embody the very heart of America. The obverse carries the unforgettable portrait of a proud Native American chief, strong, noble, and eternal. The reverse showcases the mighty buffalo, the animal that symbolized endurance on the American frontier. But in 1934, when the Denver Mint struck this particular batch of nickels, something unusual happened. Most of these coins lived hard lives in circulation. They wore down quickly, their details fading with the endless passing of hands during the Depression era. Very few were preserved in high quality, which makes the surviving 1934 D Buffalo nickels in very fine condition true treasure chests in miniature. Let's talk about its unique features. The 1934 D carries the small but mighty D mint mark on the reverse, just beneath the words 5 cents. For those who know what to look for, this little letter changes everything. It marks this nickel as a Denver product, one that came from a mint that had much smaller production runs than Philadelphia. Combine that with the heavy circulation of the time, and you now have a coin that is almost impossible to find in preserved, very fine condition today. Its history is fascinating. The Denver Mint was under pressure to produce enough nickels to fuel the struggling economy. But ironically, those very nickels struck to keep the country moving are today among the most sought-after rarities in all of American coinage. Every groove in the Native American's hair, every curve of the buffalo's massive frame on the reverse, carries not only artistry but also the weight of survival through one of the hardest chapters in the United States. History. Collectors are obsessed with this coin for one reason: scarcity plus demand. The 1934 D is not just old, it is rare in the best condition, and when such a coin appears in an auction, excitement fills the room. Auctioneers watch paddles rise like wildfire because everyone knows what is at stake: a treasure that can secure prestige, wealth, and a place in the history books. Now comes the moment that will make your heart race. In today's red-hot auction market, a 1934 D Buffalo nickel in very fine condition is valued at a staggering $88,000. Yes, 88,000 US dollars for a single nickel. This is not a dream, not a rumor, but the current, faithful truth of the collector's world. And here's the real shocker: its value is not flat. No, my friends, it is rising steadily, climbing higher year by year, becoming even more of a priceless gem in the hands of those lucky enough to own one. Think about it. What was once a humble 5-cent coin is today no less than a massive treasure chest, the kind of find that transforms ordinary people into legends in the collector's circle. And let me be absolutely clear, the $88,000 price tag is today's reality. It is faithful, current, and beyond any doubt. If you hold such a coin, you are holding a fortune that grows richer every day. For collectors listening closely right now, never underestimate the power of this coin. If you ever come across a 1934 D Buffalo nickel in such beautiful condition, it is not just a coin. It is a masterpiece of survival, a vault of wealth, and a symbol of American strength during its hardest times. Preserve it carefully, guard it, because you are holding a crown jewel that others would pay almost anything to possess. And in conclusion, the 1934 D Buffalo nickel is more than metal, more than currency. It is living history cast in nickel and copper. It represents struggle, endurance, and the triumph of rarity. Its value today makes it one of the most in-demand treasures in the collector's market, and its journey into the future will only make it shine brighter. That was coin number 3, and as we move forward, I must warn you, the next coins will shake you to your core. Because each step deeper into this countdown reveals even greater treasures waiting to astonish you. Now we reach a turning point in our treasure hunt, a chapter that takes us back more than a century into the early heartbeat of the Buffalo nickel series itself. This is where history, artistry, and survival collide to create one of the most electrifying rarities in American numismatics. The 1917 Buffalo nickel without a mint mark. Picture it. The year 1917. America was changing rapidly. The First World War was raging overseas, and the United States was preparing to send its sons into battle. At home, life was shifting. Industries were booming, and the world of coinage was alive with transformation. The Buffalo nickel was still a relatively new design, only introduced in 1913, and already it had captured the imagination of the American public with its raw, powerful imagery. The Philadelphia Mint, responsible for striking coins without mint marks, produced the 1917 Buffalo nickel. To most people at this time, it was just another nickel, something to buy bread, milk, or a train ticket. Nobody knew that a century later, surviving examples in fine condition would become treasures so rare, so untouchable, that collectors would move heaven and earth to own them. Let's talk about its design and composition. Created by the legendary James Earl Fraser, this coin is a true artistic masterpiece. On the obverse, the noble Native American profile, a composite of 3 real tribal leaders, stares forward with strength and dignity. On the reverse, the American buffalo stands tall, representing resilience, power, and the untamed spirit of the West. Made from 75% copper and 25% nickel, the coin carries a warmth and depth that, even after more than 100 years, shines with a story only time can tell. What makes the 1917 no-mint Buffalo nickel so rare is survival. Think about it. Millions were struck, but they circulated heavily through the 1910s, 1920s, and beyond. Few were saved, and most became worn smooth in the pockets of everyday Americans. Finding one in fine condition, with its details still bold and recognizable, is like finding a jewel in a mountain of stone. These survivors are more than coins, they are living relics of a nation at war and a people enduring extraordinary times. Collectors know that the 1917 no-mint Buffalo nickel is not something you stumble upon every day. Its rarity is powerful. Its demand is explosive. And every time one appears at auction, it creates shockwaves in the collector community. The bidding begins cautiously, but within minutes, hands rise, numbers climb, and the energy in the room becomes electric. Everyone knows they are fighting for a priceless artifact of American history. Now comes the revelation that will stop you in your tracks. In today's auction market, a 1917 Buffalo nickel without mint mark in fine condition is valued at a jaw-dropping $115,000. That's right, $115,000 US dollars for a coin that once bought a loaf of bread. And let me be absolutely clear. This is not rumor, this is not exaggeration, this is the faithful and current truth of today's market. But here's where it gets even more thrilling. Experts agree that the value of this coin is not slowing down. Year after year, its price continues to climb, transforming it into a true investment treasure chest. Owning this coin is like holding a golden key, one that unlocks wealth, prestige, and a legacy that will only grow richer with time. For collectors, my advice could not be stronger. If you ever come across a 1917 Buffalo nickel without a mint mark in such a preserved state, you must act with lightning speed. Secure it, protect it, preserve it. Because in your hands lies not just a coin, but a fortune that grows larger every year. You are holding a crown jewel of the Buffalo nickel series, a relic that connects you directly to the roots of American history. And in conclusion, the 1917 no-mint Buffalo nickel is more than a coin. It is a story of survival, artistry, and unshakable value. Its price today proves it belongs among the greatest treasures of American coinage, and its future promises only greater heights. Owning one is not just a collector's achievement, it is owning a timeless treasure chest, a piece of American soul that no amount of time can diminish. That was coin number 4, and if you thought $115,000 was shocking, brace yourself because the final 2 coins on this list will push the limits of belief. The deeper we go, the closer we come to the absolute pinnacles of Buffalo nickel treasures. The journey grows ever more thrilling as we uncover yet another treasure, one that has stunned collectors for decades with its quiet power and undeniable rarity. This is the 1927 Buffalo nickel without a mint mark, a coin that at first glance might seem simple, yet beneath its surface lies a story so rich, so valuable that even seasoned collectors feel their pulse quicken when one appears. The year was 1927. The United States was in the midst of the Roaring '20s, an age of jazz, skyscrapers, automobiles, and booming industry. And America was alive with innovation, and the Buffalo nickel was a symbol of pride in pockets across the nation. Minted in Philadelphia and carrying no mint mark, the 1927 Buffalo nickel became a workhorse of the economy, passed from hand to hand, fueling everything from bustling city life to quiet small-town trade. But here's where the story takes its breathtaking twist. Although millions were produced, most of them did not survive the ravages of circulation. They wore down quickly, the bold features of the Native American portrait on the obverse fading, the mighty buffalo on the reverse eroded into a blur. Finding one today in fine condition, where the details remain strong, is like uncovering a hidden relic that somehow escaped time's relentless erosion. Let's reflect on its design and artistry. James Earl Fraser's vision was to capture the very spirit of America in a coin, and he succeeded. The obverse features the powerful profile of a Native American chief, a design drawn from 3 real leaders of native tribes combined into one timeless face. On the reverse, the great American buffalo stands tall, embodying endurance, strength, and the untamed beauty of the Western Plains. Even after nearly a century, this design still captures the imagination, and when preserved in fine condition, it glows with an energy that collectors crave. Its rarity is what propels it into legendary status. The Philadelphia Mint's coins often lacked mint marks, which might make them seem common at first. But the truth is, very few 1927 examples in fine condition still exist today. The demand for these survivors is enormous. When one surfaces in an auction, the atmosphere changes. Collectors know they are competing for more than just metal. They are chasing a treasure chest in miniature, a coin that represents both America's roaring prosperity and its numismatic legacy. And now comes the heart-stopping revelation. In today's auction market, a 1927 Buffalo nickel without mint mark, in fine condition, commands a staggering $76,000. Yes, 76,000 US dollars for a single 5-cent coin. This is the truth of today's market, the faithful and current value that shocks new collectors and delights seasoned veterans. Think of what that means. This once ordinary nickel, now nearly a century old, has transformed into a fortune, a jewel, a crown jewel of collecting. Its value is not frozen. It continues to rise as collectors compete and demand surges. Experts agree that this coin will only grow in importance, making it not just a collectible, but a true investment in history. For collectors, my advice is clear. If you should ever come across a 1927 Buffalo nickel in such strong, fine condition, seize it. Protect it. Guard it like a vault of gold. Because in your hand, you do not hold just a coin. You hold a treasure that can define your entire collection. You hold a living relic of American heritage, one that grows more valuable with each passing year. In conclusion, the 1927 Buffalo nickel without mint mark is one of the most breathtaking survivors of its era. It embodies the Roaring '20s. It carries the artistry of Fraser's iconic design, and it shines today as a treasure chest of immense value. Its $76,000 price tag proves its power, and its future promises even greater heights. Owning one means you are not just part of numismatics, you are part of America's treasure-keeping legacy. That was coin number 5, but prepare yourself, because the final coin on this list is going to shake you to the core. If you've been amazed so far, the climax will leave you absolutely speechless. And now, we have reached the climax of our journey, the crown jewel of today's list. The coin you are about to discover is more than just a piece of metal. It is a time machine, a fortune, and a piece of American soul locked in copper and nickel. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the 1918 Buffalo nickel without a mint mark, in fine condition. The year was 1918, a turning point in world history. The Great War was drawing to an end. The world was gasping for peace, and America was emerging as a force of strength and resilience. While soldiers marched home, and industries shifted from war production back to civilian life, the Philadelphia Mint quietly struck Buffalo nickels that would one day become priceless. And among them was the 1918 no-mint Buffalo nickel, a coin that, even back then, carried a quiet majesty. Let's speak about its artistry and story. The obverse, with the proud Native American profile, stares out with timeless dignity, a face carved from the real features of three great tribal chiefs. On the reverse, the mighty buffalo, standing tall and unshakable, embodies the endurance of a nation moving through hardship into triumph. These designs, by James Earl Fraser, were meant to capture the very essence of America, and in the 1918 issue, that essence feels especially powerful. What sets the 1918 no-mint Buffalo nickel apart is its survival and rarity. Millions were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, but few have lived to see the modern day in fine condition. Most circulated heavily through the decades, their features worn down in shops, saloons, farms, and factories. Yet when a survivor in fine condition emerges, it becomes a true miracle of preservation, a relic that has traveled over a century and still retains its proud, powerful details. Collectors know that this coin is not just rare, but legendary. Whenever one appears in auction, you can feel the tension build. Voices quiet, eyes sharpen, and every bidder knows they are competing for far more than money. They are competing for a fortune, a legacy, and a crown jewel of the Buffalo Nickel series. And now, the revelation you have been waiting for. In today's fiercely competitive auction market, a 1918 Buffalo nickel without mint mark in fine condition is valued at an earth-shaking $105,000. That's right, $105,000 US dollars for a single nickel. And let me tell you, that number is not fiction, not fantasy, but the absolute faithful truth of the current market. Think about the power in that. A coin once used to buy a newspaper or a cup of coffee has transformed into a massive treasure chest, capable of rewriting your financial destiny in a single heartbeat. And what is even more exciting, its value is rising, climbing higher and higher, as time only makes this relic more desirable. Collectors and experts agree. The 1918 Buffalo nickel is not just a coin, it is a future fortune, a secure investment, and a timeless symbol of American resilience. For collectors, the advice could not be stronger. If you ever cross paths with a 1918 no-mint Buffalo nickel in fine condition, treat it as you would the rarest of treasures. Secure it. Preserve it. Protect it with everything you have. Because in your hands, you hold a piece of history that also doubles as a fortune-bearing relic. This coin is no less than a crown jewel, and owning one places you among the true elite of American numismatics. And in conclusion, the 1918 no-mint Buffalo nickel is more than currency, more than history, it is a living treasure. Its value today, standing proudly at $105,000, proves that even the humblest coin can become a life-changing masterpiece. It is the kind of coin that defines collections, builds legacies, and secures futures. And there you have it, my friends, the top 6 ultra-rare and most valuable Buffalo nickels that are shaking today's auction markets. From the 1936 D to the powerful 1918 no mint, each of these coins carries not just value, but a heartbeat of history, a vault of treasure, and a legacy that grows richer with every passing year. If this journey has amazed you, and I know it has, then make sure you subscribe right now to Rare Coin Secrets USA, the most trustful, faithful, and freshly updated channel for everything in the world of rare coins. Here, you will always find the truth, the treasures, and the secrets that collectors across America are searching for. Stay with us daily for the newest discoveries, the biggest auctions, and the rarest coins that could change your life overnight. Because here at Rare Coin Secrets USA, we don't deal in rumors. We deal in faithful, verified, and life-changing numismatic treasures. Thank you for watching, thank you for being part of this journey, and remember, your treasure might already be in your pocket, just waiting to be discovered. Until next time, keep searching, keep collecting, and keep believing in the secrets of America's rare coins.